I'm JK Ultra, and I'm here with my amazing, wonderful, super multi-talented friend, Chelsey Maker.
Hello, everyone.
She is just multifaceted, multi-talented person, musician. She's in a band with her husband. They sing rock and roll love songs, originals, but then also like cool rock and roll versions of some covers that are iconic love songs with a spin. Um, Also, artist, painter, everything really. Just full blown creator. She's in the process of working on her oracle deck,
Yes.
and that's super exciting. And the reason that we're here today is because she has been a healer, also trained in the style of shamanism
Mm-hmm.
for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely talented. This is the reason too. The reason I want to bring her on is because if anyone can hold the space for me that I need, like the frustration that I had with all of this technical stuff today, people would be wrecked because I'm very intense. I'm intense, so when I'm intensely positive and uplifting, I can lift the world. But when I'm frustrated with technical, especially things that, I mean, why do you need so many apps just to do one thing? I don't know. But those type of things could really set me off. And when I'm set off, it's a very intense energy. So this is one of the only people that can hold a space big enough for me to actually have a range of emotions. So
Thank you. You're so sweet. No, I think it's a good balance. I think we're both able to ground both energies
exactly.
very
And that's the
deeply.
thing too. Like someone who is such a talented healer that like, and so this is one of the things too that I want to talk about is that healers, you can train to become a healer, but there is also the healer energy that people are automatically ready to be like, mother, please tell me I'm enough. And like the second, and because I do it to you and I don't do it to anyone, so I know that everyone is always, if you are getting a coffee, if you're just trying to pick up your dog's poo for a second, people are like, oh my god, I just really need you to, I just really need to tell you this big burden that I've been carrying for 30 years, and please take it from me, mother.
Yes. Yes. I think that there's a lot of things that go into that. I think that's a true energetic path, like that you're born into, one, but also you can cultivate like openness.
Ooh.
And like if you have compassion and you want to put that out into the world, the people that need it will find you. And
that's true. So I like that approach too. That it's not just you're only a natural born healer. That you do cultivate becoming a healer.
Totally.
And most of the time through your own healing journey.
Yes. Absolutely.
So this is a little bit of a different thing that we're doing on the Tuesday Night Live in the chat over there. Everything good. We got good sound. No questions or complaints. We're doing something a little different today because I had my class 2 days ago. Thank you guys so much for coming because I know many of you guys here now are many of the people who were probably in the class also, and I'm so grateful. And but I needed like a good, chill couple of days after that. So this is the perfect thing because with your expertise, these are things that I want to know. So I have a lot of questions. So just as a background, a lot of my information comes from books. A lot of those books are either from hypnosis, the subconscious mind, or channeled information, or something that is just written but is very clearly, when you're reading it, probably channeled flow state universal information. That's a lot of my information is coming from either books, recordings, videos of people doing that.
Okay.
So a lot of my ideas of realms, different worlds, astral places, the afterlife, come from that perspective. And then when it comes to shamanism, which is something that we're going to talk about, because there's a lot of just information that is a couple of different ways that people use the word, and I think that's what it comes down to, is that sometimes people use the word as like an elder of a group, of an indigenous group, sometimes people use it just as a general type of thing to distinguish from, say, mediumship or psychics or something, that it's like
a different path.
A different path.
Mm-hmm.
But then your, the way that when I asked you, which this is so fascinating to me, is how you describe shamanism as an actual type of practice.
Yeah, so shamanism is a set system almost, and there's many different types of shamanism throughout the world, and a shaman means a walker between worlds. So you've trained in the art of going between these realities or worlds. You can use plant medicine, you can use trance states without plant medicine, using drumming, or just simply going on a journey with intention and entering a state that way, which is really interesting. But it is a set practice. So a few things, do you want to learn about like how to, okay.
Please.
So shamanism, I think you were talking about also astral planes, right?
Yeah, so this is the big thing of, kind of the big focus of this, is because shamanism is a style, well, not a style, it's a
system.
It's a system that people use to travel between realms, dimensions, worlds, realities, but it's a specific way of doing it. So my information about reality, realms, dimensions is different, and that's what we're going to try to see here, is like some of these realms, what matches up, what you traveling realms.
Okay.
Why does someone do shamanism to travel these realms if I could just do it meditating myself? What is the purpose of that too?
Beautiful. Okay, so I kind of prepared some like material to kind of talk about this. So astral traveling is an out-of-body experience that you leave with your soul tethered, but you're going through different worlds, if you will. In shamanism, we call them worlds. So there's a lower world, a mid and upper world, or a higher world. The lower world is like plant medicine, your subconscious mind, rocks, animals, your ancestors. This is like where they would come from that realm. The middle realm is the ordinary reality, which we experience every day. And then there's the non-ordinary, is the other side that can be manipulated with energy. It's not a physical space. Like imagination happens, memory, all these things are on this other side. Dreams. So something else that I wanted to kind of link into is in the hologram theory. It is a hologram of this life on the other side that you can manipulate, right?
Okay, so you're saying this middle ordinary world, and then the hologram can be, the hologram like exists in that higher world.
It exists in the middle world on the other side, the non-ordinary reality.
Oh, okay, so
the
the middle
world reality on the other side. Then you can maneuver up and down.
So the middle world has a half and half.
Right.
A physical and a non-physical of the ordinary
Correct.
world. So dead people are in that place? Like ghosts?
Yes.
Ghosts that are earthbound, stuck.
They also say like the Fae realm is in this realm.
Oh, so the Fae is in this middle ordinary world, but the other half, the unphysical, so the fourth dimension, basically.
Yes.
So just based off of what you've just said, just to kind of tie it into a lot of the stuff that I've been talking about.
Okay.
So it sounds like these three things are actually kind of breaking up the levels of consciousness into groups.
Absolutely. That's exactly
so we have these levels 1, 2, 3, a little bit of 4 of consciousness are the lower worlds.
The animalistic brain.
Where there's still hive mind and stuff.
Yes.
Then the level that we're at, which is 3rd, 4th, we're high 3rd, low 4th. And then the non-physical, the ghosts, the Fae, are at 4th. But on
the other side of the veil.
And they could come a little bit into 3. So we're both on this thing.
That's why you see like a big foot glimpse or this glimpse. They exist on this dimension on the other side.
Oh, so the Bigfoot, the stuff, that's still in the same ordinary world layer.
That's the non-ordinary.
The non-ordinary.
Yes.
Oh, okay, so the ordinary and the non-ordinary of the middle world.
Middle world.
Middle
yes.
world.
Yes.
And then maybe fifth dimension and above, or sixth dimension and above, because fifth might be
is the higher realms. So that's going to be your cosmic beings, your ascended masters, your just pure wisdom and information is going to come from up there.
Just doing a little quick check. Everything looks good still.
Someone says, is it a set system? So what I mean by a set system is tarot, for instance. Tarot is a set system that is a closed loop that works within itself, and it is a certain practice. Each card has a certain meaning and discernment or whatever, right? Archetype, so on and so forth. In shamanism, it is a set practice. You enter in a certain specific fashion using a certain protocol. Then you honor these things in a certain protocol. You maneuver with your spirit guides. That's super important in shamanism. That's kind of how it's different than astral traveling, which in shamanism, you always go with your guides. Astral traveling, you don't know how to navigate these worlds by yourself. That's where you can like run into trouble or negative entities or not know how to get back or all these things. When you astral travel, you're kind of going with no seatbelt, right? When you go with guides who are literal masters on the other side, that will always, if your intention is, let's say, to receive wisdom on this, your guide will come through and take you on a journey to receive that information and then come back and know exactly where to go and how to get you back safely. They know how to stay protected, all of these things, right? So that's why shamanism is way more safe. This set protocol is more safe. Now, there's different ways to access this all over the world. There's, like, I know in Celtic shamanism, some people study using a ship or a little boat with a ferryman to get to the other side. So to get to your power spot, and this is like a big word in shamanism, this is how you go through from the ordinary reality to the non-ordinary reality. So your ordinary reality is this right now, touching this table, great. Your non-ordinary reality is you leaving this realm, going through the back of your mind into this imagination space, right? Or your third eye or whatever you want to call it. You're then going to create your power spot. Your power spot is a neutral zone on the other side that you are always protected from the outside. It's infinite chambers wide. You can make it look like however you want, but however, when you walk through, there's a certain thing that you see when you walk through that you know you're entering into this power spot. So you kind of program it, if you will. Kind of like the Silva method is similar, does this. So a lot of people see a forest. I've known people that.
And now, do you design it, or does it kind of present itself, or is it different for each person?
There's different things for each person. Typically, people walk through either a nature landscape of some sort, or they design something that is nature-esque. And I think, is it in Norse shamanism? I think they climb a tree. Or something. So there's ways you have to envision and set this cornerstone of passing through.
This power spot is also worked into the different systems. So like the Celtics, the Norse, the different tribes that have their own style of shamanism might have a different place where that power spot is like designed. So if they're kind of using that method, a lot of people are going to use the same power spot?
It's almost, yes, you can use the same power spot. So in Australian shamanism, or in the Aboriginal shamanism, they go through like an altar room. So you are walking through this natural space, you see this pyramid altar room appear. there is a gatekeeper that lets you in. That's like a shadow figure you don't see. Very benevolent being. You walk through and you're in this chamber of, it's a pyramid, and there's altars everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
And you intuitively go to your altar. It'll show you your altar, and there'll be things.
I feel like
left.
I've been to this place actually, dude.
Yeah.
When I first learned Dolores's method of protecting yourself, that you do a white pyramid of light. It was like I was inside this pyramid, and it was a dark room, and there was this smaller purple glowing pyramid on like a podium. So like when I did the white light, I went into like inside something, and there was like this little podium. So this is what's interesting too. This is one of the things that I've been wanting to ask you about this stuff, because a lot of times when I talk about these other things, you already know what they are, but you're completely like a different understanding. You have also spatial understanding of these places.
Yeah.
So I can kind of get like the concepts of these levels, and I'm like, oh, like the other side. So speaking of the Silva method, the places that I kind of go to when I do those 3, 2, 1 are these like same places, and I told you about them. And what's interesting is in one of them, when I see the number 2 in the Silva method, it's like basically this guy in this room who's like pretty much faceless, and he's in a suit, and he's just like very neutral, and he does like a 2. And I was telling you about it, and you're like, oh, he's the gatekeeper. And I'm like, wait, this is like a space? Is this a space that other people go to that I just pass through, and he's always at this space? Or does he come to different spaces?
It is a space that exists. You perceive it differently from your life. So this is familiar. You said yours is a door, right?
Well, the one that he's in is this room that has kind of like a hexagonal like window behind him. And it's kind of like this old style of house that was in the neighborhood I grew up in, but all like kind of whited out. Like everything's kind of whited out.
It's a room of some sort.
Yeah, like a white room.
Do you have to walk through a door?
No, when he does the 2, I just go somewhere else.
Okay, interesting. So when we were talking about earlier of like passing through, there's lots of ways to like get through this portal to the non-ordinary reality. It is basically a door. It's a doorway, and that's how different people see things. Some people climb things, some people whatever.
Well, my first one, that's my second. That's the first one is I do actually go through that like archway of neon lights. So I do go first through the archway.
That yours is like neon and like a room.
Well, but then when I was in Vegas and I went to the Neon Museum, it was the exact same place. I had never been to this. I loved the Neon Museum. I thought it was the coolest thing. It was a graveyard of all the retired Vegas neon signs. I've never seen this place before, didn't know existed. Whenever I do the Silva method, which I've talked about many times, we do 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1. And in your mind, you see these different images that you can create or happen. And when I do 3, there's kind of this progression from like the outside street into this Vegas. Well, now I realize this is literally the Neon Museum in Vegas. Are we frozen? No. It's like literally the Neon Museum in Vegas. And there's actually this archway. I'll post on my Instagram because I posted a video of it.
So I would describe this as these things show up in your timeline. This is why it's familiar to you, and this is why your inner self shows you this as you travel through this passageway. For me, I study a lot of nature. I study a lot of like plant magic and all these things. So that's how I see the things. Or when I do upper realms, I see a lot of cosmic things, colors, stars, star beings, all these things. That's because I look for that, I guess.
Wow. And that's interesting because mine, this like astral place is like a cityscape that changes over time. The city changes.
Yes, and it can change. That's another thing. Like for instance, when I'm walking into my power spot, I walk through this clearing that is a forest of some sort. And sometimes the flowers that line, sometimes they're big, insane, like flowers, and they're all over the thing. Or sometimes it's like a very obvious like Oregon forest, and it changes. But it's really cool. when it does. It usually means like you've leveled up in some way and things are shifting in your life.
So, can you explain journeying to us?
Yes.
Because it's definitely a word that gets used, but I don't think it gets explained well.
Excellent. Okay, shamanic journeying is you taking your soul or consciousness through a journey with your guides or a specific ancestor or ascended master, light worker. Some people use angels. There's a few things that you can use to retain certain information or healing. Okay, so let's say you want to gain clarity on which job you want to get or whatever. So you would set the intention to invite your spirit guides, all of these people that you want to invite in, which I would recommend that set list that I just said. Those are the most important beings you'll ever talk to. You call them in, and then you wait. And within seconds, you'll be taken off on a journey. You will always be with someone. It can be a guide, it can come to you as an animal, it could come to you as a light being or a person or anything. The beings on the other side, there is so many. Like the Akashic Records, there's so many beings that work for the Akashic Records that only want to help you, but they cannot help you unless you, with your free will, say, I would like to receive help from you.
And they're like, woo, we got one. The telemarketers,
yes,
woo, we got one.
It's literally like that. So as soon as you ask for it, they will come and show you and take you on this journey. Sometimes you'll meet several beings. And like Jen was saying, you're going to go through these different worlds, like the lower world. You typically don't travel in the middle world much. Because it still is kind of dangerous. It's the most dangerous world out of all of them. So you typically stay in the lower and the upper. However, sometimes like soul retrieval and things like that, that comes in the middle world where you have to take your soul parts back.
Which you have to explain soul retrieval.
Okay, yeah. And that's like a very set rule practice. So you'll be traveling through these realms, which are also the levels of your psyche, right? Of your awareness and consciousness. So you'll receive things from and for medicine for those different aspects of yourself through that. And then sometimes it will show you, if you're a visual person, you'll be able to see these things. Some of my clients can just feel these things, or they get some audio, like a message that way. But I've had people who literally do not have that center in their brain developed to visualize, see things.
Wow.
So, and you can travel together.
And then
that
really
syncs
weird.
up. That's where it gets real weird.
And that's what I think what a lot of people understand as shamanism is being taken by someone in an altered state of some sort, like you said in the beginning, that could be through trance, through plant medicine, through different means.
Sound.
Where you have a sound healing, and then you basically have the person in this world, but also guiding you in the astral world.
Correct.
Which is another reason when people do stuff like ayahuasca and plant medicine, you want a super skilled shaman.
Exactly.
Because you want someone that's actually able to journey on those worlds with you for real.
Yes, and call in your spirit people, your guides, your whole team to work with you. Because if you don't train in this, how do you know to do that? You don't. That's why you come to someone like me or someone like in the ayahuasca setting or anything like that.
And then that's the thing too, just to clarify, is that because this shamanism is really just a set practice to safely walk between worlds, not all shamans like the plant medicine ceremonies or anything. No, you only do and you
do
kind of
specifically shamanic journey.
And you integrate it with a lot of the stuff that I love, which is the hologram stuff, the quantum stuff. So when you're doing a lot of this stuff, a lot of times you're combining nature, but you're also combining a lot of this like more quantum stuff from the higher levels because you have the same type of holographic reality
Yes.
background that you're coming from.
So the way I got that background, so I started in shamanism first. Well, actually, I started in mediumship first. Was doing a bunch of stuff, doing astral projection, doing all these crazy things, just seeing what my abilities were. Ended up making all of these gnarly portals where other things were coming through, and it was not good. Finally asked.
And that was when you were super young, when you were a teenager.
Teenager in my early 20s, I started doing readings for people professionally. And I would cry through the entire reading, but I would get a lot of energy through my body, and I could read that way, which wasn't good for me personally, but I could do something or read something. I then asked my guides one day, I was like, I need someone that knows more than me. This is crazy. Like, I need guidance. And that day, a shaman walked in my shop. I kid you not. It wasn't my client. She just walked up to me and said, what do you do? And I was like, oh, I'm an esthetician, you know, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, what do you do? And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, spiritually. And I was like, oh my God, I do readings in here and stuff. And she's like, the spirit sent me. I will teach you what I know for a facial every month. Get the fuck out of here. She's incredible. So I studied with her, learned all this, and then after I learned shamanism, I studied with this other woman who taught integrative healing.
So this is where that comes in. That's what I wondered with the shamanism too, because I know a lot of the stuff that you're into gets to the quantum stuff too, and I don't usually see that or think of that when you think of shamanism.
Yeah, it's not really traditionally in that setting, but I'm looking for like the full ball, like where are the edges of this, and that is another aspect that kind of lines up this puzzle piece. Like, oh, this is what's happening on the other side. Okay.
And then so that took you from doing the mediumship and readings and stuff, which was taking a lot of energy from you. You were getting a lot of people's pain and suffering, absorbing it, holding it, not knowing how to clear it yourself because you're just doing it out of your heart.
Correct.
And there also wasn't as many resources then. Now there's like the entire TikTok. You
can
learn anything.
Oh my God,
but before you only really could like find some books, and it wasn't even before probably all the books were just available on Amazon 2 days in your house. It's like you had to find those books.
I would go to the old like used bookstores and always sit in the occult section and just fucking read all the time. Edgar Cayce. That's how I was learning astral projection and shit. Yeah, it was cool. But the integrative healing is what really gave me the vision of the quantum and how you can truly manipulate it on the other side. Just like in shamanism, you're doing this stuff, you're receiving this medicine, you're receiving this healing in this non-ordinary reality, and then it integrates into your life now, this reality, and things shift. Things heal, and it's like,
and this again lines up with all of the stuff too, with just in the regular spiritual where people are like working with their guides, working with stuff to do this. So now it's like all of these different modalities have that same type of thing where you can take from this higher and integrate it into our world.
Yes.
You know, because even like people who do, you know, any of the Pleiadian stuff is like that too, where they talk about even just like visualizing these things, visualizing the, you know, your energy centers glowing, and like all of that is kind of the same type of work that you could do on yourself.
Totally. Yes.
But when you're doing it on another person, so when you do the integrative healing, what is that experience like for a person that's doing that type of session? Are they like hearing you say things? Are they just feeling stuff?
Totally. Okay, so they also go into a trance-like state, but you're also using kinesiology. So they lay on a bed. I tap into their energy centers, just like how, I don't know if anyone's had like craniosacral therapy before or anything like that.
We'll have to get into that too.
Okay, cool. Basically, you're tapping into your body's energetics to read your subconscious.
Oh.
So I'm bypassing your conscious mind and I'm figuring out how your body's going to communicate with me. So I go through a set protocol going from like your energy body, your emotional body, your physical body, your spirit, or I forget what else I said, but all of the bodies, doing energy work, some sort of clearing. We also use affirmations. But let's say someone's like, I know something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is. I literally have a list of words to figure out what your inner self is feeling.
Ooh.
And your body, when I go over it, my own finger, and I'm holding your hand, your body will let me know which one it is. Then I'll say it, and the person's like, holy shit, and things shift. Whoop. And then we keep moving. It's crazy. So it does like chakra energy. Yeah, there's a bunch into it. But it's really interesting.
And so you already having this background in shamanism then also helps you to keep everything safe and protected when you're doing this between world stuff.
Yes. I'm almost like more of a conduit because I have the shamanistic background. I know that I can contact guides or beings to do and facilitate the work on the other side very well. So all I have to do is kind of like connect this soul with them.
So if a person is trying to contact their guides, someone, what advice do you have for them?
There are definitely several journeys you can go on to do that. One specific journey would be to set the intention of meeting 3 guides. And what you're going to do is walk through that forest or whatever you want to see as you pass through the portal into your non-ordinary reality. You're going to meet by a pond, and you are going to invite these beings in, your spirit guides. So,
and
3 spirit guides.
How do you know it's your guides?
Only they can come into your power spot. That's why you do it in the power spot, because it is protected and only things you invite can come in. So if you use your intention to invite your spirit guides to help you.
If something was invited in and then you don't want it in anymore, you just tell it to go. And obviously someone would learn how to really do doing shamanic practice, but on a light level that someone just through meditation can do, how can they kind of create their own version of that power spot?
Well, you would do exactly that. You would find like a meditation or script or something for a power spot. It can literally lead you through that journey.
Oh, nice. So then just you can look for a guided meditation to find a power spot if it's something that you want to practice and you want to start contacting your guides, but you don't feel comfortable that you're going to be protected. Because I remember you had told me this one time, which you said it was from the woman who trained you in shamanism, that because we were talking kind of about people just kind of like opening up to kind of really answer anything. Hey, whoever wants to like
channeling,
pick up the phone.
Yeah.
Like the channeling, a lot of times people are like kind of picking up whoever wants to pick up the phone, the operator, whoever is answering. And you said, yeah, and you're like, that's why, I do the shamanic style, because doing that, and you said, is kind of like a girl alone at a bus stop in a dress at night.
Like, if you're channeling, you're hanging out at a bus stop in the middle of the night, like alone, and you're just seeing who's coming to hang out with you.
Yeah, and at any point, someone could drive by and have bad intentions or good intentions.
Totally.
Someone might want to come by and drive you home for a good reason or a bad reason.
But it's a way more dangerous situation.
Yeah.
When you enter into your power spot, which you know is safe and protected, you call in your guides who are only there to help you and support you in your journey, and have a specific intention on where you're going with this journey to receive XYZ, whatever you want to fill in the blank. That is the magic sauce. That is what keeps you on the path of protection and traveling safely and receiving information safely, because you have put all of those protection things in place.
And now, would you use your power spot, say, for other things too?
Absolutely. When you want to meditate, you could create a chamber. Let's say instead of being in the meadow by that pond. You want to be behind a waterfall in a cave that has pools that are surrounded by.
Ooh.
Okay. So now that's a power spot you could inhabit. You could go in, you can meditate, you could lay in the pool and float and receive that healing information from the amethyst and do your meditations in there. Or you can create an altar room, like I was saying. You could pass through, create this altar room. Another one I really love teaching is the garden.
Okay.
So I lead a ceremony where you go to your garden in your power spot. You plant seeds with specific intentions and you water them, and you start to see what is coming to fruition in this time on the other side. It'll show you kind of like compressed time.
Ooh,
yeah,
wow.
It's really interesting. So there's a lot of cool things you could do with it. It's just a really cool thing to study for sure.
Yeah, if there's everything, and what are we doing with time here too? Because
let's see,
it is very important that we talk about dreams, because that is one question that I get all the time. I barely remember my dreams. Oh my gosh, excuse me.
Bless you.
I barely remember my dreams, so it's really difficult for me to explain where are dreams, what dimension is that, what are dreams, where are they. I understand a lot of different interpretations, but none of them really resonate because I don't dream or remember my dreams. So it's hard for me to resonate with any of them.
Okay, so your dreams can be in any of those worlds.
Oh, so it can be in the lower, middle, ordinary, unordinary,
correct,
and higher.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. But it's all going to be in the non-ordinary side.
Okay.
Your ordinary is your waking life moment now. Your non-ordinary is the other side, where your dreams happen, where your visions happen, where your ideas or imagination happens. That's all the non-ordinary reality that can be manipulated.
And so, when you're dreaming, you are traveling through these.
Correct.
And what are you being guided in any way? What's guiding you? Is it just a free-for-all? Is it a water slide? Like, what is?
Typically, you can be guided by things, yes. Again, another reason why to set these things up, because your dreams will become safer. All these things will become safer, right? However, like, I organized some things about dreams. Let's see. Yeah, dreams are a way to access these different levels of reality, to gain insight from like the spiritual realm.
Ooh, so they can also be a tool to access these realms.
That's typically what it is. It's like a reflection tool of what's going on the other side.
Wow.
And that's how, that's another reason why there's clusters of things that happen in dreams. So I took 10 dream symbols that often come up and what they mean.
Ooh.
So flying dreams often represent a feeling of freedom or empowerment.
Wow.
They may signify a desire to escape or overcome obstacles. Dreaming of death is like, honestly, almost like the tarot card of death. Like something is dropping away, something is dying, but not necessarily in the way that you're seeing it. Your subconscious, you in a way that you understand, something is dying. Something is dropping away, something's in its winter stage. Let's see. Teeth are often associated with anxiety or insecurities.
Those are the ones I have. I literally, I have all the dreams.
Loss of power.
I haven't had them. I know. I haven't had them in a while, but throughout my whole life, fall out, crumble into a million pieces, turn into dust, knocked out, get it put back in, knocked out again, literally crunch, lose it. I'm grateful that in real life I haven't had those issues, thank God. But in dreams, turn to dust all the time.
Yes, dude. That
wiggly. They wiggle all the way out. Like, oh my God, the teeth dreams. I'm so frustrated with them. So that's the thing, is I barely dream, but a lot of times the dreams that I do have are those terrible teeth teeth dreams.
That's literally anxiety. So we need to find like states of like surrender and calm.
Interesting.
For you.
Me not accepting anxiety in real life, so
yeah,
anxiety's
like,
in my
I don't have anxiety. Your dreams are like
my teeth are falling out.
Yeah, the subconscious tells all. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's funny how your conscious side can lie to your about your subconscious, to your outside self, because that's what's like present for you to like, or that's how you present yourself. So
are we? Can you refresh that? Let's make sure. Oh, we're still live on this side.
We're still rocking.
All right. Sorry, that was scary. It looked like everything was done.
Let's see.
There's the universe right there. Is talking about anxiety. Is it working?
Oh, okay. So we're getting a lot of questions about people who've passed on to the other side. So, and how they send messages through dreams. And this is true because this where dreams happen, where journeys happen and things like that, linear time does not exist. Okay, so you can still have interactions with people that have passed on or haven't even been to this planet yet or anything like that, right? So yes, in my personal belief and how I practice, that is how they would connect to you and talk to you through these dreams. And through what they give you or talk to you about or show you or whatever, that's where you can start to interpret, like, what are they trying to tell you? Like, it's really how you relate to whatever the subject matter in the dream is really cool. I think someone said they leave.
And we can actually put it probably over here too if people want to ask questions,
sure, yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff too that we've talked about that I'm sure people want a little clarity on.
Sure. Okay.
So any questions that you see that you like, is there like a safe way to astral travel for regular people though, that they're just practicing? What is your advice for people who are trying to just practice it? Probably build a power spot and go through that way.
That is truly my advice. It's pretty simple how to build it. So find this, maybe I'll teach a class or something about this. How to navigate and
how to create a power spot.
Spot and open that and set up the protection for it and fortify it and so on and so forth. But where were we? Okay, what are dreams about partners and fidelity.
I get those too. Is that on the list? Oh my god.
No.
I'm always getting.
Okay, so that is
for someone who doesn't dream. I have all the dreams everyone's mentioning.
That's fear of losing something, right? That's fear of something you do not want coming true. However, I know it's so blurry. I don't know why.
Oh, probably because I'm not lying.
But it can mean two things. It can mean like that's running in your subconscious mind for some reason. Why, I'm unsure. Maybe it's based on things that are happening, or maybe your imagination is running wild and that's something you're very scared of. And that's why I would like journey on that, or have a very open, honest conversation with someone like, hey, this is coming up in my dream, it's making me feel this way, can we talk about this? And either that person will be like, yeah, that's crazy, don't feel that way, I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. Or they'll react in a really fucking weird way, and then you'll be like, okay.
And then you'll realize you're not friends with that person.
Okay. Let's see.
Do I offer readings? No, I actually don't. I don't do any type of readings. But I am going to be, probably next month, I'm going to set it up, going to be doing a live course where I'm going to use Dolores Cannon's group past life regression method. So we'll be able to do a past life regression together all on Zoom live. So that's kind of, because I know a lot of people are asking stuff like that. That's kind of how I would like to offer it instead of doing like individual sessions. It's really, I don't have the energy or the time because each QHHT session takes like 8 hours, and it's not really something that I am pursuing in that way. Was there any other questions there that you were looking to, that you saw?
Well,
what resources for getting into shamanism?
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, there's a lot of classes out there. I think Udemy has Shannon Remmel is someone I really love. I've taken a class from her before. But honestly, I would say if this is a path that you truly want to pursue, set that intention and tell your spirit guides about it and see what comes and is delivered on this side. You may be watching a YouTube video and something might pop up and you'll be like, holy crap, this person teaches shamanism. I feel really called to work with them, so on and so forth. Four Winds is a great place to do resources from. Let's see, what else?
It's like really like set that and literally came up to you because she was called also, and she's working with her guides, so she was led there.
Yes. Exactly.
We should go over the rest of these though, for dreams too, right? You had some more dream interpretations.
Yeah. Okay. So I think. People are also asking about like, are you asking about hypnosis? Like, what about hypnosis? Is that similar to like shamanic?
Yeah. So like, what is? I guess because they are very different modalities.
Totally.
And so you were saying the subconscious mind is in the lower world, is what you said earlier. Mm-hmm. So when you do something like the QHHT and you access the subconscious mind, it says subconscious mind, but higher self, which they say is the same thing in that.
Yeah, it's the other side. You could go either way. So you can explore all of that area.
So they are going to they could go to anywhere, you think, during hypnosis? They could be in the lower world, the higher world, or the other side in hypnosis. All is possible, kind of?
Yes, and it depends on what are they being prompted with.
So the prompts are protecting them.
Correct, right. Mm-hmm. And so that's why hypnosis is, I think, a safe way to go about things. If you trust the right practitioner. You don't really go against your will in hypnosis. Like, if something does approach that, you can come out of it. You're not stuck. So you go to the other side, but someone is prompting you for these questions as you kind of hold that, like, alpha or theta state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that also too, in the Dolores Cannon method and also the Dr. Michael Newton method, they use very specific words, but Dolores talks about how throughout her career she had to change them because she kind of a couple times learned the hard way of what was possible with the words. So that's why
where NLP comes in.
That's why she is very specific about this method, and that's why if you use something like the tests, because she used the example that one time someone got their head chopped off or whatever in a past life.
Okay.
And when she said the person's neck was red during the session, and then she had to basically change this wording to make it that the person creates a safe space for themselves, and that they're in this safe space and that nothing can hurt them from other sides. So it's interesting. So she said that actually that's why her 40 years of developing this towards the end got so intense, was because she had kept tailoring the script.
Totally. Yes. Scripts are very important, and I've studied NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, which is less of the spiritual side, more of the practical application side of what's happening. there are certain words that will pull up certain code in you. So when you're in a vulnerable state, like an alpha state or a theta state, you could pull that right up. That's why, like, same thing when people like are working through like deep shadow work, like deep trauma, things like that, that will surface, and that memory or whatever can literally resurface again in this timeline, and then they work through it. So, you know, be safe. Let's see.
Yeah, we'll do a couple more minutes, see if there's any questions.
Let's see. Someone's asking about. Let's see.
She's gonna find another question or two. If not, I'll come up with a question or two, or anything that you wanted to share.
Oh, also, here's my Instagram.
Yeah, put your info in the chat. Everyone, thanks for being here. So Chelsea's also going to join us next week, or not next week, sorry. Chelsea's gonna join us.
Okay, it's all good, folks. It's good. Just technical difficulties.
As always, I mean, this is what happens.
Oh, near-death experience. Great.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay, so to me, that is a acute tuning back on your path, if that makes sense. So let's say, and this is just my interpretation, but when something like that happens, there are two timelines that are starting to like split or whatever, and you have already pre-negotiated one. And one is more important, so that will happen almost, so you recourse back on that, and really.
So it's kind of like coming back to the highest timeline type of thought, like that there's basically a higher timeline that you need to still do that is more important.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure.
And where do they go? Is that like some other realm where they are?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a different realm. It's another place, another point on the non-ordinary reality somewhere in that, and yeah.
And what about the tunnel? Do you know anything about the tunnel?
Which tunnel?
Of light. Like near death. If there's anything on the shamanic stuff, I'm sure, of course, there's a ton of information that people say scientifically that could be. But if there is anything that you've come across about something like that, where like a near-death experience where they're passing through.
I think it's literally going through dimensions and time folding on itself. You know, like, I think where we go after this, or where we graduate to, we're never destroyed, right? We always exist, so it's just a different frequency, and your programming is going through something to get to this next point, if that makes sense. You're trying to understand it. Or maybe it's like a...
Oh, wow, you're passing to somewhere else. Wow.
That's what I think. Let's see.
Anything that you want to share, of course, you can follow Chelsey at Frankincensed, as well as We Are Makers for music. Frankincensed with a D on Instagram.
Let's see.
And on TikTok, it's Frankincensed, right?
Yes, it's frankincense. I think something was going on.
Did someone say, when will I send out the class? If someone said that, I didn't, it was passing by. It's already sent out.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get it, you have to email me, because there was a couple people who didn't get it, but then they figured out that they actually you were logged into the wrong email, so it was the one that they have for their Eventbrite account. But if you haven't gotten it, email me or DM me, and then I'll just forward you the replay, the PDF from the class, and the links. So then you'll have everything from the class.
Beautiful.
So if anyone had an issue with that, there was a couple people who had issues, but then when we looked into it, it looked like they had put a different email address for Eventbrite. Like they already had an Eventbrite account they were logged into. So I think that it got figured out for everyone that had the issue. Well, Chelsey, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
this
you
is
so
so
much.
lovely. What I was trying to say, yes, is that Chelsey's also going to be joining us. We are actually going to be doing another meditation. It's still in the works of how it's going to work. So we did that one on 3-3, the portal, the All Shift Happily Now with Tim from Cosmic Disclosure and all of those people. We're doing a new version of it. It's going to be a little bit tailored. We're figuring out a better way of making it work. But Chelsey's going to be joining, and she will also be contributing a little bit of her integrative healing and shamanic knowledge into the meditation. So make sure you follow her, but also make sure that you
tune in.
Stay tuned. We're getting that settled, and then we're going to figure out the best way to do that whole meditation as the big group that we are. Everyone, thank you so much. And next week, we'll decide the topic in Instagram. Thank you so much, guys, for being here and enjoying this chill, different vibe of
on
the
this
show.
rainy Tuesday in Los Angeles
when Chelsey hosted the show.
Thank you. Au revoir.